Good morning, Year 3. Today is our problem solving lesson. So this video will actually be slightly shorter because I don't like to give you too much information before you attempt the problem solving tasks by yourself. So first of all, I have 3 shapes on the board and I'd just like to try and name those 3 shapes. You can write them down or you can just think about it, or you can try and draw the shapes and then write the name down. I'm just going to pause my video for a second and I'll add the answers to the board. You could always pause your video whilst you think about it for a minute. I have 3 shapes on the board. This is a 6-sided shape, a 3-sided shape, and a 4-sided shape. See if you can remember those names of those 2D shapes and write them down. Welcome back, Year 3. I've added those answers to the board. Hexagon is a 6-sided shape. Triangle is a 3-sided shape. I've actually added 2 answers over here. This is a 4-sided shape, and any shape that has 4 sides is a quadrilateral. But this particular shape also has another name, and very well done if anybody remembered. It's called a trapezium. Very well done. I've put some shapes onto the board because today's problem solving task does involve shapes. You have a shape puzzle or a shape maze. I've drawn a simple one on the board for you. This contains rectangles, triangles, and hexagons again. And I've got a couple of problems on the board for you to solve that are similar to the problems that you'll solve on your shape maze on your sheet. The question I have is, can you get from the bottom to the top using just 6-sided shapes? So can you find your way through this puzzle, this maze, using just 6-sided shapes, just the hexagons? Pause the video for a minute and see if you can find a way to get from the bottom to the top using just 6-sided shapes. You could go up, across, diagonal. You can only use the 6-sided shapes. Pause the video and have a look, and I'll add the answer to the board. Very well done. If you found this way, from this bottom hexagon, diagonally across, and then diagonally across the next 3 hexagons. Very well done. The next question is the same, but can you find a way from the bottom to the top using just 4-sided shapes? Just shapes with 4 sides. Pause the video again and see if you can find that route from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom, and I will add the answer to the board as well. So this time we're using just the 4-sided shapes. Well done again, Year 3, especially if you found this route from the rectangles diagonally across and then diagonally back to the top. And that is quite similar to the questions that you'll have on your maze. But I don't want to go through all the questions on your sheet because that's the challenge with problem solving. Can you solve those problems yourself? So this sheet that you have, I haven't stuck mine in yet. It's a bit faint on my sheet. Hopefully it prints a bit darker on yours. You can always go over the shapes if it doesn't. There are lots of shapes in the maze. You have to colour them correctly to start with. That's the first job. And then there are 3 questions to answer, finding different routes from the start to the finish. And you have to try and solve those routes. If you complete those first 3 questions and colour the shapes, you can then draw your own shape maze like mine. Mine is just 12 shapes, 4 down, 3 across. And you can write 1 question for your shape maze. Maybe I can try and solve it. Again, you could use any shapes you like. Maybe you can have the question where I have to try and find a way from one side to the other side, going across certain types of shapes. You can try your own question. If you finish all of that, there are also 3 magic number squares at the bottom that you have to try and fill in. And remember, the first one says make 15. So you have to make sure that every line going across or diagonal or down, the 3 numbers add up to 15. In the middle one, they have to add up to 24. And the end one, they have to add up to 45. So quite a few challenges to solve today. Please remember that I am on Google Meet. It'll be great if you came onto Google Meet, but try to attempt that task to start with. If you get stuck, please keep coming back to me. that it's really useful for problem solving to try and attempt those initial first things by yourselves. Hopefully we can all colour those shapes to start with, but please keep using Google Meet and asking those questions. You're doing that really, really well. I've been very impressed. And keep sending that work across to me at the end. Thank you, Year 3.